Welcome, Sarah, another Sarah.
Thank you.
So you had submitted to chat about your upcoming trip, and so I'm excited to talk to you about it. Is it your first trip or no?
It's not, we've done a handful of trips before, but typically our bigger, like full week trips like this has been with extended families, which is a whole nother
Mm-hmm.
ballgame. This is
Mm-hmm.
our first trip, just the four of us, my husband and two kids. And so for whatever reason, it feels harder, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess I'm used to having input from like my sister and my mom, and it's all on me this time.
Yeah. So with your previous trips with the extended family, was somebody else in charge of the planning? So this is your first time, or?
I was in charge of doing it, but I just had a lot of feedback and, had help making decisions. And my husband and kids want no part of that process for this
So
trip.
you're having to make all the decisions this time.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Okay.
I'm sure I'll get complaints. So
Oh no, if they don't have input, they don't get to complain.
exactly.
When was your last trip?
Well, I was there last September. My sister and I go like for a long weekend every year
Mm-hmm.
for a girls trip. But then our last like full family trip was 3 years ago. And my daughter was 3 at the time and couldn't do most of the big kids stuff. So we were kind of on a trip our own with her while everybody else did all the fun stuff. So this time she is big enough to do almost everything. She's like 47 inches. So I think just Tron and
Rock
rock
and
and
roller
roller.
coaster.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
unless she like grows in the
Gross.
next 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be a much smoother, enjoyable trip because we'll be able to do everything together.
Okay. So you are no stranger to the lightning lane system.
Well, um, in its most like current form, I haven't used. When we go for just like weekends and stuff, we don't necessarily take advantage. Like we try to do like parties after hours, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
or just lower crowd days. Not really focused on rides. And then when we've done like our bigger family trips, like we've been able to utilize DAS. So this time will be new with the lightning lanes, and I've been reading up on like weight magic. I think that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a big help, but lots to kind of get up to speed on.
Okay. So let's talk about where you're at so far. What are your trip dates?
So our trip dates are June 27th, which is a Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and then we check out Friday, July 3rd.
Okay. How did you
It's
decide to go that week?
um, my husband is very limited on when he can take his vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's usually like the week of July 4th and either before or after. So unfortunately, that's when we always Disney. It'll be miserably hot, but it's okay. We're trying to
It'll,
get in and out before the big like fourth crowds.
yes, but it will be hot and there'll be rain, but it's not busy like it used to be. Like,
I'm excited about that.
I know around the 4th can be a little bit busy. Even that hasn't been as busy the last couple of years.
Okay,
But yeah, so
good to know.
crowds are moderate. So at least you've
Okay,
got that going for
yeah,
you.
we can handle
Um,
that.
how did you choose your resort?
We're staying at Caribbean Beach. We've stayed there several years ago, like before the Skyliner. And the kids, when they were little, really liked the pool in the area. Obviously, the Skyliner is a big perk now. So we
Hmm.
decided to give that a try again. I had actually booked it through a bounce back when I was on my last trip in September. And then Disney keeps like sending out new promos. So I actually did modify it recently to the like buy 4 days, get two free,
Hmm.
and then the free kids dining. So
Okay. What I would like to do is just plug your dates into our Park Picker tool because it gives us a good sense of like what's scheduled at the
okay,
very least. And then we might also use the Park Picker information if how many park days tickets did you say you have?
we have six.
Okay.
Originally hadn't planned to do that many, and so we're going to try to keep maybe a couple short days in there so we can still have some downtime at the resort.
Okay. And your trip date starts the 27th?
It does. We'll get it in the afternoon, so we'll probably. I'm assuming our first park day will be Sunday,
Okay.
the
That will
28th.
the 27th?
The 28th.
Okay. Do you have more park day tickets than you have days to use them?
Do I? Let's see.
Through the 3rd, unless you go on your
I
departure
have
day.
yeah, we're gonna do a partial day on our departure day.
Okay. That helps
Yeah.
because this tool was telling me you have too many
Yeah.
park days. Okay. All right. So you're staying a moderate. All right. I got it. Okay. So you do, just like I did last time, I do have a spreadsheet kind of going with your information, and I will send this to you afterwards.
Okay,
And
great.
we have started filling in all the information. So other than the dates and the hotel and the number of days in the parks, have you chosen where you want to be each day?
I have tentatively, unless you tell me not a good idea. I did kind of go by the, recommended days you had on the website. Then when
Mhm.
the park picker tool came out, I did run my plans through that. I think they're not too far off. I might have made a couple tweaks just based on preference, but happy to get feedback if you feel
Okay.
strongly.
Go ahead and tell me which parks you plan to be at each day if you have that
Okay.
list.
So Sunday, the 28th, I had Magic Kingdom, and that's just because I have to start at Magic Kingdom because that's my favorite.
Okay.
And then Monday, I had Hollywood Studios. Tuesday, Epcot. Wednesday, Hollywood Studios. Thursday, Magic Kingdom. And then Friday, just like part of a day at Epcot.
Okay. So no Animal Kingdom time this trip?
Yeah, it's not our favorite, and I just would rather have the flexibility of 2 days of the other so that we can fit everything in without going too hard.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And one of the reasons I wanted to do these planning sessions is that everybody's trip can be whatever they want it to be. So if you want to skip a park, skip a park. It doesn't matter. If our park picker tool says these are the days to go to the parks, and you're like, no, I personally like to start at Magic Kingdom, then you should personally start at Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
So, everything is flexible depending on your personality as well. So that's good. Okay. So you have the dining plan as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Okay. And is that the regular dining plan or the quick service?
it's the regular.
Okay. All right. And have you thought through some ways to use your credits? Like which table service restaurants are you going to be
That's what
eating at?
that's what I've kind of been working on because our reservation date's coming up.
Mhm.
And I love the idea of the dining plan just because I feel like we can do these meals that I might not otherwise want to pay for.
Mhm.
But also like the pressure then to like have enough reservations to use all the credits. So
Yes.
that's where I'm getting stuck. I do know, well, I have penciled in for Saturday on our arrival to either try to book Ohana or Steakhouse 71.
Mhm.
I don't know if one is harder to get on the front end of the trip or not.
Ohana might be harder, but you know, it's summer, so a lot of summer
Okay.
travelers aren't planners.
Because my other thought is whichever one we don't get on that day is to get on our second Magic Kingdom day, if that makes sense, because it would be
Mm-hmm.
in the same vicinity. But yeah, just not sure like logistically or from like a hard to get reservation, what order.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have trouble with steakhouse, and I
Okay.
think it's such a good meal. So that's nice that it's not going to be hard to get, and it'll be good food.
Yeah.
Ohana might be. It's just that when you go in the summer or on holidays, you don't have a lot of competition because the people aren't planning so far out or
Okay.
at all. No. So a lot of summer travelers are just walking up to restaurants and being like, "Do you have availability right now?" So that can work to your advantage.
And we used to be those people before I found you. So
Oh, nice. Okay, so
makes a big
there
difference.
I always think people that go to Disney World without a plan, they go one of two ways. One is, I'm not doing this ever again. This is too much. Or the other way is, next time I'm going to learn and figure it out.
Yes. Yeah.
So here you are figuring it out.
Yes, for sure.
Um, related to the dining is your family into characters?
Not so much. Not so much. I did want to throw one in there for my daughter just because I don't think she's had a character meal at all. Like when my son was little, we did all of them, but we're just kind of past that. But I was going to try to get Topolino's breakfast and make that like our one character.
And you'll be really close to it
Yes.
at Caribbean Beach Resort.
And I was thinking that either on my second Hollywood Studios day or on our departure day.
Okay. Which would be convenient because it's Epcot that you're going to on the last day.
Right.
So you totally could. Do you have flights booked on the last day?
We drive. And we're actually only driving a couple of hours on Friday because we have family in Jacksonville. We're going to spend the weekend with them on our way out.
Okay. So you don't have to
on a time frame. Yeah.
Okay. Then that will be easier then. Yeah. And Topolino's officially, like, the character meal is only breakfast, but their breakfast times go through lunch,
Okay.
So if you want to do a later one,
that one that I should try to book right away? Like, should that be?
Yeah, that's super popular. So if you're debating the day of your trip to do it, the later the better. So your departure day, late breakfast, if that makes sense to you, I think would be a pretty shoe-in, pretty much guarantee that you'll be able to get it.
Okay, great.
So I'm just going to write it as a late breakfast here. And that's the one character meal that you're interested in, right?
Yeah, I think so.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you're going to have 6 table service credits per person. So far we've talked about 3.
Okay.
What else?
For Sunday for Magic Kingdom, I was leaning towards Skipper Canteen. We've never done that.
Lunch or dinner?
Good question. So I think in general, what we're going to try to do is rope drop to like lunch, a nice long afternoon break, and then evening back at the park. So depending on the times, either an earlier lunch before we leave, or I guess an early dinner back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and Heather is not able to join today, but if she were here, we would talk about different styles because she, in the past, like before it was her job, would always do a lunch sit down just to kind of break up the day, and also to not have to rush back to the parks to get to a dining reservation. I did the opposite, where I would do quick service for lunch and then go back, and a lot of times, especially in the summer, take a shower in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Maybe put on a little sundress or something and then go to dinner. I liked having that to look forward to in the evenings, but it does give you like a schedule to work around.
Yeah.
So I think either one is doable. Which do you think?
And that's the same menu, right? Lunch or dinner there.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I might actually try to get both and then figure out closer to. The other thing that I had penciled in as a potential if I had extra credits was maybe Be Our Guest.
Okay.
Because I know that's 2 credits.
So should I do Skipper Canteen or Be Our Guest?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever eaten in the Be Our Guest?
We did, back in the day, we did one dinner when you got to meet the Beast. And then we did lunch several times when it was quick serve and even breakfast. And I loved that. I hate that went away. That was one of my favorites.
Exactly. And now it's fixed price. So it's even.
Yes. So we
Ugh.
haven't been since they've like changed the menu and upped the credits. It's like it would be nice. I think I don't want to like out of the gate for sure dedicate 2 credits for it. But if we find we're having trouble using the credits, I thought that would be
Mm-hmm.
a good option.
That'll use it up real fast.
Yeah, yeah. Because the
Okay.
Cinderella's Royal Table, I don't think like menu wise appeals as much. So
Okay. All right. So that's potentially 4 to 5 of your table service credits. Do you have any thoughts for the last one or two?
I I'm kind of struggling on meals for our Hollywood Studios days.
Mm-hmm.
I have thrown around like maybe Sebastian's, but I don't know because I know that's supposed to be good and it's at our resort, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much my kids will enjoy that. Um, I was also looking at like boardwalk area just because we
Mm-hmm.
Skyliner. So I thought about like the Trattoria al Forno,
Yep. That's a really good one.
but I don't have any experience. Okay, I didn't really have any. I've never been. So
Yeah. Um, on your Epcot day?
either yeah. I guess yeah. My Hollywood Studios and my Epcot day. I don't really have like a good plan for either of those. So
Okay.
I also thought about Via Napoli, and my kids actually really like Tempranillo.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that as an option for Epcot too. I just feel like that one's really good. I just feel like we can do that at home. So I don't know.
Yeah. Vietnam. I'm guessing that's where you would put it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. Yeah, Sebastian's is really good. I think your kids would probably like it. I
Okay.
mean, because a lot of the places that you're naming, it's not like there's like shows or characters or anything at most of them. So
Right.
I think Sebastian's, and you don't have to worry about getting there.
Yeah. I
You
like
just
that idea.
you just walk there. So I would heavily suggest Sebastian's because you're there.
So that would be good, like for our Hollywood Studios day, like while we're back on break
Yeah.
before we go back to the park.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you would like it.
Okay.
I think it's the most underrated restaurant in all of Disney World.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
saying something then. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's so good and easy to get into. So you're not going to have any trouble with that reservation. We often book it same day,
Oh, okay. That's good.
which makes me a little bit nervous because I'm like, no, I don't want it to go away. I need more people to eat there. So okay, this is multiple good options, but of course you can do quick service in between.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on like or questions about quick service? Because it's not like you're unfamiliar.
No, I mean, I guess just Hollywood Studios in general, I struggle with. I don't know. Nothing stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Quick service or sit down.
We are big fans of the ABC commissary at Hollywood Studios
Okay.
because it is inside, has mobile order, has good food, and you can refill your drink there, like
Oh,
yourself. And so we always prioritize those because we
okay.
want to be able to sit and chat, and we
Yeah.
want to refill our Diet Cokes.
Yeah, for sure. I do like Woody's Lunchbox.
Mm-hmm.
That can be chaotic though.
Exactly. And we don't dislike Woody's Lunchbox, but as you say, chaotic, the seating, it's hot. And so,
Mhm.
given the dates that you're going, I'm just sort of throwing up more like air conditioned indoor spaces as
Yeah, I like
an
that.
escape. I'll just list it here in case that's
Okay.
helpful.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
When you mobile order, you'll be able to pay with your credits too. It makes it really easy.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
Okay. Along the
Is
same lines, we
is
could.
that true for like, sorry, is that true for like snacks? Like, is it easy to tell what is like a snack or a quick service, like credit wise, or
Yeah, so they make it different for each one. So snacks are on the menu with a DDP icon next to them. Like
Okay.
in person, when you're looking at the menu, if it has a DDP icon, that means snack. Quick
Okay.
service is if you are ordering in the app, it'll tell you what qualifies as a quick service meal.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time since we did the dining plan, so I can't remember
Yes.
exactly all the.
It's another layer of rules to figure
Yes.
out. Along the lines of ABC Commissary, which is inside and has mobile ordering and stuff, I would say there's those options in all the parks you're going to visit if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Magic Kingdom has a few. Do you have a favorite quick service at Magic Kingdom? There's
No, I mean, we tend
Cosmic
to just like grab
Race.
snacks. So, but I
Okay.
don't, yeah, I don't know this like sit down air conditioning. I think like Pecos Bills, but
Pecos Bill, yeah, there's multiple options. Pecos
yeah,
Bills is good. Cosmic Rays, Pinocchio Village House, Columbia Harbor House. I feel like that's a strength that Magic Kingdom has.
yeah.
So you're familiar with all those, so you can just go to whichever one is convenient. And then Epcot has a lot of food, but
Yes, it does.
you're not going during a festival. So it will be the regular sort of restaurants that are available. Connections is a great one.
And I don't think I've ever eaten.
It's newer. So
Okay.
if you haven't been, it's just that it's nice because it's sit down, air conditioning, water refill station, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Perfect.
I would say in terms of just like air conditioning and quick service, also Regal Eagle, totally different sections of the park, Connections and Regal Eagle, but they're both good and have mobile order and they're inside. So some options.
Okay. Great.
I'm just writing down the thoughts.
Yeah.
Where's Lunchbox, ABC Commissary, depending on what you're into. All right. What else? Do you have anything else with regard to dining?
I don't think so.
Don't be afraid to use your snack credits. I did a podcast episode recently of people, somebody was on the dining plan and they were very, very good at like trying to use all the credits and they still ended up with leftovers. So if you're every time your
I
kids ask
think
for
we
something,
usually have some leftover. I remember like having to like buy stuff out of the
yeah, and
candy shop.
it's not quite as easy to buy candy and stuff to go like it used to be.
Okay.
So you just have to every time your kids ask for a snack, yes.
Yes.
You want a
through a lot
pretzel?
of pretzels and frozen Cokes.
Exactly. Yes, the answer is yes. And then obviously just make sure your meals are booked or that you're using those credits. Are you ready to talk about touring and light lanes and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so you said you have base tickets, so you're not going to be hopping.
Right.
And we know your park days now. Do you think you're going to be getting lightning lanes for each day?
Yeah, I think so.
You are.
We want to minimize waits however we can.
Okay. All right. So then is the lightning lanes part of the overwhelm for you?
I think the overwhelm is mapping out I tend to go like rope drop to close and they have to like kick me out. And my family doesn't want to go that hard. So just figuring out what's a reasonable plan and order so that we can accomplish a good amount in the morning and then not feel like we're leaving anything behind when we go do pool time, and which is why I kind of built in like 2 days per park. So they didn't feel quite so pressured.
You're forcing yourself to come back.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, but that easier touring, plan or whatever is going to, I think, be better for you in the summer.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So that'll be good for you. Okay.
We typically do like a pool or nap and for sure shower break in the summer.
And pack extra clothes just to
Yes.
accommodate it for you.
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. So then, do you know what you would want to book for lightning lanes then?
I think we are going to be, well, we should be able to do all the big stuff, except for my daughter won't be able to do Tron necessarily. But I think we'll still want to get like the individual lightning lanes for Tron and
Seven Dwarfs.
Seven Dwarfs.
Mhm.
And then we'll definitely want Big Thunder, which I think I heard that's tier 1. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what else is tier 1. Not worried about getting a lightning lane out of the gate for like Pinocchio or Tiana's, because I think those are tier 1 as well, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling up our cheat sheets because I use them for my own trips as well, because it's hard to remember all of the different options.
So many times, and I still can't keep it straight.
It's very difficult to remember all of the different levels. So I'm going to bring it up so we can all use it as a reference. Share this graphic. Okay, we can see that. All right, good. Okay, so yeah, this shows Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, Tiana's, Big Thunder, and Space are tier 1s. So if you're choosing Big Thunder, then you would be trying to get the others the same day.
Yeah.
And then
do you think with it just coming back, it's a good idea to snag that one first, or it will have?
So I think you have two options. One is that it's not open during early entry. So you could do early entry somewhere else, Fantasyland or something, and then you could still rope drop Big Thunder if you wanted without a lightning lane. The other is just to get a lightning lane to secure your spot, because there's, other ones that you could get. So it's not a bad choice. I would either probably do that or Jungle Cruise.
Okay. Jungle Cruise, I don't know. We usually do it, but I feel like if we didn't, nobody would miss it.
It's not a high priority for you.
No.
Okay. Then you could pick Big Thunder, and then you don't have to worry about that one. Outside of that, in terms of like your other tier 2 ones, what do you think you might do? I mean, make it bigger so you can see it. So there's Buzz, which is just returning as well.
Yeah. So that one will go fairly quickly, you think?
Most of the tier 2 ones don't go super quickly, just because there's a lot of different ones, and none of them I don't think are like super high priority. But I think Buzz isn't a bad one. And I was trying to look at the list. What else? Because my personal preference is to go to Peter Pan's Flight and Winnie the Pooh during early entry, and then start doing other things.
So if we like rope dropped Peter Pan, and then Winnie the Pooh, at that point, could we go like rope drop Thunder Mountain, or like?
Yeah, you could, or you could rope drop Haunted Mansion. But if you have a lightning lane for Big Thunder, there's just no reason to head over there early if you don't want to.
I'm thinking like there are a few things like Space, Thunder Mountain, where we're probably going to want to ride it more than once.
Sure. So you could go there after doing a little bit of early entry if you want to ride twice.
Okay.
So, okay. So I call it second rope drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second rope drop, Big Thunder Mountain, potentially. And then you could ride it later with a lightning lane as well, if you want to.
Okay. And let's see. Is Space Mountain open for early entry?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And the line doesn't really grow there super fast.
Okay.
So
Or if we wanted to do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train more than once, we should rope drop that and then buy the lightning lane.
Yes, if you want to do it twice, that is the way to do it. Choosing to do that one at rope drop would mean that's probably the only thing you're going to get to do in early entry because of the line growing, and then you'll have to figure out how to do Peter Pan and Winnie the Pooh outside of that. So
okay. I'll just have to see like priority wise with the kids, like what's most important, I guess. Got a couple like alternatives.
And you do have more than one day. So
that's true.
You have 2 early entries and you have multiple opportunities, so you can divvy it out if you want.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And you could also like do lightning lane for Big Thunder the first day and then do it standby the second day, or ride it twice each time. Like there's so many different ways to configure it.
Right.
Okay. So in the notes I was typing, I had a Big Thunder Mountain Lightning Lane multi-pass as a tier 1, but what are you thinking might be good for tier 2 then?
Probably Pirates and Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, those are good options. Pirates, Haunted Mansion. And all 3 of those are on kind of that one side of the park. So if you wanted to book those, close together,
kind of get them back to back, yeah,
then that would be kind of easy for you.
Okay, good.
Okay. Are you ready to talk about Hollywood Studios?
Sure.
Okay. I know you have 2 days at Magic Kingdom, but we're going to hop to the day 2. Okay. So what are your thoughts on lightning lanes here? I'll tell you, I think one simple approach is if you want to book all of Toy Story Land or just to keep them all together, because one of those is tier 1, the other 2 are tier 2.
Okay. That makes sense. Would you then rope drop Mickey and Minnie's?
Yeah, it's pretty easy because most people are headed to Slinky Dog Dash and Rise of Resistance, and so it's not nearly as difficult to do Mickey and Minnie's or Tower of Terror.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Rock and Roller Coaster is going to be open by then, so I don't know. I like going to Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster first thing. Mickey and Minnie's another great one.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do Mickey and Minnie's and then try to book Toy Story stuff because my daughter won't be able to ride Rock and Roller, so I don't want to start with something that she can't do necessarily.
Yeah, just exclude her right out the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have zero desire to do Tower of Terror.
Okay. Good.
They will for sure do it, but I do not enjoy.
Are you thinking you'll book a single pass for Rise of the Resistance?
I think so. Is that still has a pretty typical long standby?
Yes, and I think the thing that makes it risky to do standby is that it goes down a lot. And if you're in the standby line, that can mean you just lose a lot of time. Yeah. And if you have a lightning lane, they will, usually let you come back when it, comes back up, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that will be good to do that then.
Okay. So then you could do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This graphic does not yet Oh yeah, it does have include Rock and Roller Coaster. We never took it off. I was going to say after the announcement today, we're going to have to edit it, but it never left. Okay. So yeah, I think Rock and Roller Coaster would be the one if you want to ride it, how to fit that one in without a long wait.
Okay.
But I guess after you tap in for like your first lightning lane, you could also just try to book
try
it.
to stack it. Yeah.
It does have a single rider line, but that's not ideal when you have kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would
Well,
just
that
try
might
to.
that might work too, though, because my daughter won't be able to ride it, so we'll have to. My son's old enough, like to do single if he wanted to.
Okay. Yeah. So you could do that if you wanted to.
So that's a good option. Or I guess worst case, if we don't have a lot of luck the first day, maybe for our second Hollywood Studios day, we do like the opposite plan and try to snag that as our first.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. For Rock and Roller Coaster. Okay, yeah, that's good. That is a perk. I don't often talk to people that have multiple days at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be good to split it up. That will definitely make your Hollywood Studios days easy.
Yeah, I think for sure we need the 2 days. We've typically only done one there, and it's a hard day. It's a long day, and it doesn't feel super like successful no matter what. So I think this will be a nice approach.
Are you show people?
I love to do the Frozen sing along, so we'll do that. I've never seen Indiana Jones, and I would like to. I don't know, for whatever reason that's never happened. I guess Little Mermaid's new since the last time I've seen it, and we've seen Beauty and the Beast. So I mean, I think those are good fillers if we just need to sit down and
Be inside out of the heat. The villain show too.
Oh yeah, I did see that actually the last time I was there. That was fun.
Okay.
That was a good one. Yeah, but no, the kids haven't seen it, so that would be good.
No, those are great because all the shows are either inside, or covered. And so it just feels like it's going to be a little cooler than being out in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. I forgot about those.
And some of them offer lightning lanes if you want to guarantee a certain show time, but you don't have to.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Epcot?
Yeah.
Since that's your next park day.
Yes.
Okay. Which of the tier ones appeals to you there?
Let's see. I think Remy's, but we're maybe going to rope drop that. Since we'll be coming in the Skyliner.
Yeah, unless you want to ride it twice, you might be better off.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to ride it twice or do you want to ride it once?
We could probably ride it once each day.
Okay, right. Okay, so rope drop Remy's. You also could, if you're early enough, you could do Remy's and Frozen Ever After during early entry.
Yes, I've heard that. So I think we might try for that.
Okay. So in that case, then it probably makes sense to do a lightning lane for test track.
Test track. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the entry point matters a lot with which lightning lanes you pick.
I know, because I really would like to rope drop Guardians so that we could do it more than once. But from coming in from the Skyliner, that's not really ideal, right?
It's not. I've done it. The last time we stayed at a Skyliner resort, Heather went to the Skyliner entrance international gateway and I took a Uber to the front part. Yeah. But we were just testing, like, see which one made the most sense. And I was in the first 50 people on Guardians, and it does give you a chance to do it twice without long waits.
I'm wondering if one of the days, let's say the first day we go in International Gateway and we do like
and you have
or whatever.
You have a car.
Yeah, I was going to say the second day we just drive and go in the front.
Okay. All right.
And go to Guardians.
Okay. All right. That is an interesting option. And rope drop Guardians.
I guess that's another thing, since we typically drive for our long trips, a lot of times we've never had Skyliner at our disposal, but a lot of times we will drive for rope drop. And so we can park up front and then we'll leave our car there all day. Like we'll bus back or whatever for our breaks. And then when we are leaving the park at night, our car's like right at the front.
Right.
And we don't have to stand in like bus lines and stuff. So
Yeah, that is very handy.
yeah.
Okay, so in talking about your first Epcot day, we
Yep.
talked about Test Track being a tier 1, and then we have a few tier 2s to choose from here.
Definitely Soarin'.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then I don't know. I don't think anyone in the group is going to want to do Mission Space. Do you typically need a lightning lane for Spaceship Earth or Living with the Land?
I like to do those because even if the wait time is only 30 or 45 minutes, that's still 30 or 45
Yeah,
minutes
okay.
saved. And like if you wanted to do it Living with the Land, you could book that close with Soren just so that
Soarin',
building, you could arrive and do both together.
Okay.
So and that's totally fine. But also either one of those, you're probably going to be able to snag same day. So whatever you don't pick, you'll be able to pick up. So so should I go ahead and write down Living with the Land?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Just to keep them together. I'm very big on escaping the heat. So if you can go into the land building and go on a couple of rides and not have to be out in it.
And then if we get one of those early enough, then we can try to book another tier 1, right? Like
Yes.
once you tap in. Okay.
Exactly. The tiers don't matter once you're there. So tap in and book away.
Okay.
Yep. I don't think you'll have trouble getting what you need. Epcot in particular is quite easy.
Okay. The last time I did Epcot, it was an after hours, which I know isn't the best of the after hours because of the walking, but we just did Guardians over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel spoiled, like only getting to do Guardians like once seems.
I know. My opinion is they need to take away the pre-show.
Yes. We stopped riding it just because the pre-show was just getting to be too much.
It's so annoying. It takes too long. There's so many.
Yeah. And then the like rush, there seems to like there would be a better way to get.
Yeah. They've experimented with ways to handle that, but it's so frustrating. It's such a good ride. I don't need to hear the backstory every time.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're moving through your trip plan in order, the next day is Hollywood Studios, where you said maybe we'll just do a Lightning Lane multi-pass for Rock and Roller Coaster this day.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. And if you do that, you could rope drop something else. Do you want to rope drop another favorite?
What would you recommend? Like if we did Rock and Roller, would I then also try to do Tower of Terror? Or should that be the rope drop?
Well, you could rope drop Tower of Terror if you wanted to.
Okay.
Did you don't want to go on that one, I thought.
That's okay. I can sit out.
Okay.
They will for sure do it. Yeah, that's a favorite.
Okay. You can get coffee.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Rope drop Tower of Terror, and then you'll have your Rock and Roller Coaster Lightning Lane for later that day or early in that day if you want. And then the tier 2s, it's really the shows, Star Tours, Toy Story Mania, Aliens, Swirling Saucers.
Okay. Maybe Toy Story Mania, just because I know we'll probably want to do that one.
Okay.
More than
Gonna
one.
rewrite it.
Yeah.
Back in the olden days, Toy Story Mania was the thing that everyone road dropped.
Right.
And it's so crazy to think about now. Okay. And then you'll have to find one more tier too.
Oh, right. Because if we're going to rope drop
Hmm.
Tower of Terror, we won't need a. Okay, then, well,
I mean, or you already said, book Rock and Roller Coaster this day. So you could do Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror both as lightning lanes, because that's one of them's a tier one and one's a tier two. And then Toy Story Mania as your final
oh,
tier
yeah,
two.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense then.
Okay. Just to kind of put them together.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can rope drop something else. Like you could go Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway again. If you want to do brave and go to Slinky Dog Dash.
We may have to try that if we'll see how the first day goes, and then it might be worth rope dropping just because I know that's my daughter's favorite.
Which one's your daughter's favorite?
Slinky Dog.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Then that might be fun to get to do it again.
Yeah.
It's so popular. Tell her to stop liking things that are so popular. Okay. And then you are back at Magic Kingdom. And your previous Magic Kingdom day was rope dropping Peter Pan and Winnie the Pooh. And then getting lightning lanes for Big Thunder, Pirates Haunted Mansion. Oh, do you want to focus on Tomorrowland a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So so you had mentioned Space Mountain. If you doing that, like rope dropping Space Mountain, or you could book lightning lanes for it.
If we book a lightning lane for that, I mean, honestly, we might rope drop it and book a lightning lane because that's
Okay.
another one that's like a favorite of all of ours. So
It's pretty easy it just doesn't get busy for a bit.
yeah.
Okay. So you can ride it twice. And then what about Buzz?
Oh yeah, I do want Buzz.
And while you're over there, you can have both. And okay, so that puts you with 2 Tomorrowland lightning lanes. And is there any chance your kids are going to insist on the Speedway by chance?
Yeah, for sure.
That's an option
I'd
if
rather
you want
not
it.
wait for that. So I think it makes sense to just snag lightning lane,
Okay.
honestly.
And then they're all close together if you want.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yeah. And of course, you have multiple days, so you can always adjust your second day according to how your first day goes.
Yeah.
And then Epcot, other than Guardians,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that the lightning lanes are necessary on this day?
That's a good question, actually. I hadn't thought about that. Because that would save some money for a partial day.
Yeah, because you're not going to be there the whole day.
So do you think it makes sense to rope drop, like we'll drive and park that day, rope drop Guardians, and then do what we can in the earlier hours and then have a late Topolino's breakfast and be done? Does that make sense? Because I hate to have a breakfast during like the morning, and waste
Yes.
touring time.
I actually wrote late breakfast on here before because you had mentioned rope dropping. So yeah, it's totally doable. But that does have you driving your car another place. You know what I mean? Like you're leaving Caribbean Beach,
right.
driving to Epcot's Topolino's.
Right.
So,
Um,
but you could. And if you arrive to Epcot early in order to rope drop, then your car will be, towards the front of the parking lot.
right. Right. Okay, maybe we'll do that.
And if you wanted to ride Guardians twice, then obviously you could book a single pass
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
Yeah, that we probably will do that. I think that makes sense, like to buy that and not necessarily the like multi-pass.
Yeah, you may not need it. I just think since you're using it on your other day, you're probably going to get everything that you want done, unless you just want to repeat things like Guardians.
Okay. Yeah. So then maybe Friday morning is just kind of like any last minute redo or just enjoying.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to, even if you were up top Guardians, you could still go on Soarin' without hardly any wait. You could, go on Living with Land right afterwards without a long wait. There's like so many options, even if you don't have lighting lanes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
Okay. Then I feel like the lightning lane thing is kind of settled, or if you
Yeah.
have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that feels better.
Okay. Now, what else? Are you using a stroller by chance?
Yeah, we will definitely take a stroller. She doesn't need one at home, but we'll for sure need one at Disney.
Yes. Something a lot of parents don't think about, but you already know.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What other information do you need to feel prepared for your trip?
Is there any strategy in terms of order of booking either dining or lightning lanes?
Yeah. So for dining, your number one is going to be Topolino's, because it's the most popular for sure. Any character meal has to be at the top of the list. And then Ohana.
Okay.
And then everything else, I think, is probably going to be pretty easy.
Okay.
In terms of lighting lanes, what I recommend doing before your trip, before your lighting lane booking window opens up, is going on the Thrill Data website. They have a page that lists out what the current lightning lane availability is for future dates. So your booking window is what, June 20th, or I think. So I would, June 17th, 18th, 19th, something like that, go on the Thrill Data website and to see which of the lightning lanes on your list are disappearing the fastest. For instance, if it's Slinky Dog Dash, then I would just make that park your first one that you book.
Okay.
So that is how I would determine the order.
Okay. Yeah, it's been so long since I booked, and I think the last time I booked was actually you did it on the computer, and you have to do that on
the app now.
Oh, okay. So it will you just do it day by day, right? But you don't have to do it sequentially. Like you can
No, yeah, when you log in,
studios days first. Okay.
Yes, when you log in to book it, it'll say what date, what park, who's in your party.
Okay.
And then it will ask you to pick your list of rides, and then you check out. And every one is a different transaction.
Okay. And I can use a Disney gift card for that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that better, because then I don't have to worry about the bank? Okay.
Yes, because all those multiple charges hitting your bank account can sometimes flag a fraud alert, which is understandable. It's oh wait, what do you mean the same amount keeps getting pushed through? Just have your Disney gift card number saved to a note, because you need to be able to paste it in pretty quickly, just so you can move through the process.
Okay. And then when I'm booking, should I just snag whatever times pops up and then try to get it early or later so that I get it? Okay.
Yeah, I do, get it as close to the time that you want as possible, but you did mention wanting to use Wait Magic.
Yeah.
So that is a very handy tool. After you do that booking, then I would go to Wait Magic and set up your modifications searches.
Okay.
So you can tell it, I've got these lightning lanes on these days and I want it to be whatever. And they have different modification searches. The guy that owns it actually DM'd me one time because he saw that I was using it in a way that wasn't the most effective, because I was setting it to search to modify my lightning lanes. And then as soon as it would modify, I would set it up to search again. He was like, no, no, no. There's an option where it will just continuously modify.
Until you stop it or
Yes. So make
okay.
sure make sure you choose that so it can just keep working. And then it'll message you if it's able to modify your lightning lanes. But
Okay.
very, very handy.
What about the individual lightning lanes? Is that part of the same like daily transaction or are those separate as well?
There's separate transactions. So like for Epcot, you'll book all your lightning lane multi-pass and check out, and then you'll do your single pass. It's like a separate thing.
Okay. So do the single pass separate, like 2nd. Okay.
If it's not disappearing, like,
Okay.
you know.
Oh yeah. I'll check that on Thrill Data, right? Okay. Okay.
I think you know more than you think, or you're more. I think you know enough to make this a really good trip.
I think I do. It's just like it's been a while since I've done it, and you can't really practice it in advance.
No,
Are the
no.
lightning lanes? What time on the 7 days? Is that in the morning or is that midnight?
No, that's not midnight. It's 7 a.m. for
7 a.m. Okay.
Eastern for lightning lanes, 6 a.m. for dining, right? I get confused because it's different for dining, different for lightning lanes. And then the midnight reference that you're making is for enchanting extras like tours and Bibbidi Bye Boutique and like the activities. So Disney, I wish they would pick a time.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track. Yeah. I don't think we're going to do any kind of like extras this time. We did Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique already. I think that's a one and done. So
yeah. And you said your family hasn't like had a lot of input about it either.
No, I've asked for like, planning sessions. No, I said, can we at least like look at menus? No, just whatever.
just whatever. Then they can't offer any input then. Yeah, it's 7 a.m. Eastern. I just confirmed because I was overthinking it.
Okay.
But your dining is 6 a.m.
6 a.m. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And that one's coming up first. So
yes, get that locked away. Another thing, you were earlier talking about, do I do lunch or do I do dinner? And I wanted to throw out another variable, which is you can't book lightning lanes when you have a dining reservation. So if you go for lunch and you're thinking you're going to be park touring, then the lightning lanes will be blocked out during that lunch reservation.
Do you know how long it blocks out? Like, does it like,
I think it's like, hour, 2? Yeah, I think it's an hour, but.
Okay. So I just need to kind of think about that.
Yes. If that helps to make the decision for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think you're gonna be good.
I'm excited. It'll be good. I think we have enough like time to work with.
One thing to throw out, well, no, because you're leaving on July 3rd. I was gonna say fireworks, but I think probably they will have July 4th fireworks the 3rd and the 4th, but you're leaving just before, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, no. I was gonna ask, when do they typically, like when will park hours like officially be set? Because I know they'll probably be open later than it shows now. It makes it hard to know like when fireworks and parades and stuff are going to be.
Yeah, they're in the app. They're 75 days out. Like that's when they're released, so 75 days out. And on the website or through a browser, it's usually closer to 60 days. But then they do make updates.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to predict that because it's random. But we post them usually once a week on social media, like a recap. So I would just look for that. And also every day of your trip, like I would look in the app when you're in bed, look in the app for the next day just to make sure the hours are what you think they are.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea.
They can update them at any time. And so it's just kind of a routine for us to like check the app and go, okay, still opening at the time we thought. So yeah, who knows? They might, hopefully they will stay open later than it currently seems like, but we don't know.
I feel like in the summer that usually is a little bit later.
Yes, which is why like when they release park hours updates, people always say to us like, does that mean they're going to be busy? I'm like, no, they should have just released these in the first place. I think they're just making it right.
They just like to mess with us.
They do. It's a mind game. but I
Um,
would keep tabs on that.
for early entry, Skyliner still starts early enough from like the
Mm.
resort. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we line up 90 minutes early sometimes.
Okay.
Like, which is really early, I know. But like for
Um,
instance, if you're at Caribbean Beach Resort, there's a Joffrey's right there at the head at the hub. And so sometimes we just like get in line, grab a coffee, grab a breakfast there, and just, keep ourselves busy that way.
I was going to ask about the Skyliner. I had requested to be closer to the Riviera.
Hmm.
But is one Skyliner station closer to one part? I can't
Hmm.
visualize.
Yeah, the Riviera is closer to Epcot,
Okay.
and the Caribbean Beach Resort Hub is closer to Hollywood Studios.
If we got on at Riviera, we would have to connect to the other, right?
Right.
And then, okay. So it just probably makes sense to walk down
Hmm.
towards that Skyliner for Hollywood
Yeah.
Studios.
And it's
Okay.
only the Caribbean Beach station that has the Joffreys I was talking about. The
Yeah.
Riviera won't have
Yeah.
that.
That's right. I originally had booked a standard room and was going to be in one area in my mind. And then when I rebooked for the promo, I had to get preferred.
Hmm.
And the preferred are kind of confusing now, but I think I'm going to request closer to Riviera just so we can utilize their buses if need be and
Very
their
smart.
like quick service and stuff. So
Yes. And that is super smart. But preferred is confusing because it could put you near the Riviera Skyliner station, the Caribbean Beach Skyliner station, or the main building, which is none of that's close to each other.
yeah, they're all different.
All different. And people that want to be near the main building and the main pool are totally different than people that want to be near the Riviera Skyliner station. Like, I just wish they were different categories.
Yeah. And in the options for online check-in, it doesn't seem to reflect the new preferred areas.
It doesn't surprise me.
Like the options are just like I think the two sections that were originally preferred, which is so confusing.
They do need to update that. But you can do a request in the chat in the app.
Yeah.
And then just say, please add this to mine. And that
Okay.
hopefully will increase your chances.
I'm going to do that and request a fifth sleeper. So
Another thing that I feel like you should be
yeah,
able
you
to
can't
just
put
book.
it in a,
Yes, that's annoying.
yeah.
But anyway, I think you have good plans and you're going to be set. So,
I appreciate the help. I'm excited. I feel better.
all right, good. So you should be set for your dining reservations as you're coming up soon, and then you'll have a little time before the lighting lanes. But if you want to see what it looks like before you go on to book, I have a YouTube video showing it. I screen
Okay.
recorded my
Perfect.
own process so that people could see it because you can't practice, as you said.
Yeah, that will be helpful. It's
Yeah.
good to visualize.
Yes, and that way it's pretty easy. But if you've never done it, it's hard to know how to prepare.
Yeah.
So,
I'll check
I
that out.
appreciate talking to you, Sarah.